The views and opinions expressed on the Craig L. Hayes Show do not necessarily reflect those of Westgate Resort, ownership, or management. And now, on with the show.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Get your copies while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
Are you ready for a little truth? Are we not entertained? Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge and experience. There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. It's showtime! So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Now that's entertainment. Enlighten me a little. What you say is quite logical. And what did we learn? Prepare yourself for a little sensory overload. I came here for the truth. 47 years ago, stand by the roll show intro. Roll show intro in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show, and I am Craig L. Hayes. Today is the 20th of November, 2024, and we are recording this show, a live recording from the Westgate Resort, Las Vegas, in the International Showroom in the basement in Elvis Presley's dressing room. That we're allowed to do this, I want to give a special thanks out to the president of the hotel, Cammie Christensen, and thank her very much for allowing us to do this. And to Dawn Rawl, she is the vice president of marketing and entertainment. And to John Peer, he's the technical director for the hotel's entertainment division. And thank them for allowing us to do this show from such an incredible place. No other show around here is doing a podcast from Elvis Presley's dressing room. And we are not lost on the moment and how special that is. So we're here, and right next door to us is Barry Manilow's private dressing room. So we're right in a really special place. Today, we're going to continue doing our interviews with people that are behind the scenes, been behind the scenes for a long time, or even a short time, but doing showbiz here in Las Vegas or all around the world. And today we have something very special, someone who used to work here in the hotel way back when, and Elvis was here, and Liberace, and all these top-line performers back of the 70s, and it's a special day for me. This is like a major blessing to have him here and have an interview where he can tell some stories about this place. This is a legendary showroom, and it has got just the greatest vibe and feel and aura around it. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about that too, and he has seen some things on this stage and been part of them, but we're going to keep it PG-13 because there's very important to get it so the kids can listen to this show. So today I'd like to welcome to our show Nathin Miller. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It is so good to have you here.
Thank you.
I mean, I've known you forever and ever and ever, and you've known the family forever and ever. And
Yes, I have.
but it is so good to have you on this show to where we can talk about this room a little bit in just a little bit, because this room is so special, and you know that.
Magic.
And you're going to tell us a little bit about that. And we want to know about it because, I look around and guys that worked here in the 70s and such, we're running out of them. There's not too many left.
Yes, we are.
You may be one of the last 2, 3, 4 guys in the whole world that worked this room with the Elvises and the Liberaces and such. So
I worked the last show of Elvis, yes, 76.
And I want you to tell us about that in a few minutes, but we want to start
Yes.
a little bit about your early days, where Nathin came from, where he grew up at, a little bit about how he got into show business. And and his life pre-stagehand. So if you would, go ahead and tell us a little bit about you.
I was born and raised in Iowa. Grandfather got me out of there, thank God, and raised me in Kentucky. And in the early 70s, I came to Las Vegas. I was doing radio and television in Atlanta, Georgia, also in Florida, Cincinnati. I always wanted to do live shows, live radio and television. I ran camera at local television stations, did disc jockey work at Z93 in Atlanta. Got kind of tired of that, got involved with some illegal activity and got clear of that and just decided I want to stretch out and do stage work. I want to do live. I want to go to Vegas. I came to Vegas once in the like 71 and fell in love with the city. It was a different world then in Las Vegas. I said, I got to come back out here and I want to do stage work. And I was lucky enough to come out. Me and a girlfriend came out and got into town, joined the union. It took a while. I had to wash planes at the airport, do disc jockey in the nightclubs. But after about a year, I got my first call, went over to Caesar's Palace one day and put in Steve and Edie and never looked back.
Yeah.
And I came, we did about a year's work there, just bouncing. You bounce in the union, you get calls from the union and go out to work. I thank God for that. It was great. I thought I was in. One night I got a call to go next day to put in the Elvis Presley show at the Las Vegas Hilton. I said, sure. So I came in. We did a 4-hour call that day, putting in Elvis. And I was thrilled because I've always been an Elvis fan. I saw him in Atlanta. What year was that? When he was a lean, mean singing machine. I always loved Elvis. Being a hillbilly in Kentucky, raised on Love Me Tender and all the songs. But
What year did you actually? So what year did you come to what used to be the Las Vegas Hilton, now the Westgate Resort?
I started at 76.
76. That was your first call out of the local.
Right.
Nice.
And well, not the first call out of the local, but actually to the Hilton.
Yeah, but you started in 76 working out of the
75,
local.
yeah.
75.
76.
Okay, gotcha.
But I was lucky enough to get to the Hilton to put in Elvis. I thought, wow, cool. Elvis wasn't here. I asked James Burton, the lead guitarist. I said, where's Elvis? Oh, he never comes down. We'll get into that story later. But anyway, so I came back later that night. I got a call. I went back home. I didn't work the show. I just was doing the put-in. I got a call later that night to go back and do the strike, which is normal in show business. Once the show is over, the star leaves. There's a crew that comes in. You know that.
Yeah.
Strike the show. Me and a big fella named Dan Cook, I think you remember him, we came in to strike the Elvis Presley show. And the whole stage crew left, and it was just Dan Cook and I on the stage. And it was, Elvis had already went downstairs, and his whole crew. And I saw the last part of the show. It was so sad. Elvis was like 200 and some pounds, 300 pounds. Forgot the words of Love Me Tender. It was so sad. But I saw Elvis.
You got to see one show basically of him.
Yeah. It's all about the
His last show.
last 20 minutes of the last show.
Wow.
I was there when they walked him out of the elevator right upstairs. Same elevator. He was like stumbling, and I watched him pour him into the limousine. It was so sad. But that was Elvis. He was dead 6 months later.
Yeah.
But he still lingers in this showroom, I'm sure. I think there's a spot on the floor upstairs where he used to stand that they didn't refinish. Is that true?
Yeah, right upstairs, just off the elevator. We'll show you that in just a little bit here. But we preserved one section of the original stage up there.
I love that.
So that it was, well, it's a throwback to him. You know, still the maple deck is up there, and it's still So people can go up there and there's a little thing that says, the king was here, basically, type of a thing. And yeah, and that's where he used to go, I guess, go stand there. And, the rumor was he goes up there and he stood there on that spot and he prayed and he got ready for it. But it was asking my dad, who flashlighted him around almost every night to the other side of the stage, said, well, he'd stop there and just, get psyched up. But he goes, I never saw him pray, but, that's may have, but he never saw that. So not saying the rumor's false, but the rumor, people have made up a few things around. You know how the legend keeps getting bigger and bigger,
course.
and bigger on stuff. And
But they never stopped coming. That last show, they were still trying to get underneath the main, trying to get at him at the end.
they didn't care. It just to be there with Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like forgot the words "Love Me Tender," and the Memphis Mafia was around, and but they still came. Elvis was Elvis.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I've seen that with others, like Frank Sinatra was like that too.
Right.
People didn't care that his voice in the 90s was just about gone, and he couldn't remember a lot of the lyrics. It was Frank. Who cares?
I
Frank
got
was
a
on
real
stage.
Frank Sinatra autograph at Caesar's Palace one day. So that's another story. Yeah, but this stage is amazing. Anne Margaret, Donnie Marie, Liberace.
So for 10 years, you worked here. What positions did
I
you
started
do?
out as a assistant sound, and in the last 2 years, I was an assistant carpenter.
Okay.
I worked on the deck doing miking the orchestra and doing all microphones for the stars and backgrounds, whatever needed on stage for audio.
The go fetch 'em guy.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Do this.
Yep. Go fetch that. Go grab this. Do that. Yeah.
I loved it. I had a couple great head sound men, and I loved this stage. 10 years I was here, and we did magic. Yeah, the Elvis thing and Liberace, and this stage could talk. We
Yeah.
had one time we had a Frank Sinatra benefit here. We had Dean Martin, Michael Jackson, Paul Anka, all performing on this stage. I'll never forget it. I was standing right next to Michael Jackson. It was like talking like we were next door.
See, that's the cool part about being a stagehand, isn't it? You just get to sit there and talk to these guys because they're waiting to go out there, and you just stand off to the side of the stage with them, and you just say,
Paul Anka's background singers were friends of mine, so we're standing there chatting, and up walks Michael Jackson. We did about 20 minutes there.
"Yep,
It's so crazy. It was great.
yep."
As long as Anne Margaret came up to me. She was the first star on the stage. They said, "Do you want to work a show? You're pretty good, putting shows in. Can you work a show?" And I said, "I'll try." So ended up, that was before wireless mics, so I was paging cable. Anne Margaret was the first star to come up because I'd always be bopping at her band. Her band was on fire, and her dancers were all satin, were amazing. And she comes up to me and goes, "Can I say something to you?" I said, "Yeah, Anne Margaret." She goes, "Thanks for working my show." I go, "Whoa." She goes, "You're always in a good mood." And I was, because the show was fantastic. Anne Margaret on this Hilton stage was the Las Vegas Hilton. I used to do the announcing for it too. "Ladies and gentlemen, the Las Vegas Hilton presents Anne Margaret." She was the first one that would ever come up and complimented me, so it was an honor.
That's nice. Yeah, basically people don't realize it, but Anne Margaret was kind of like the female Elvis.
Well,
The
the movie
was just
Viva Las Vegas, that's where they got it together.
yeah,
Come on.
and she was just like literally, she was so big and famous. And I've heard some other Anne Margaret stories about when she was up at the Sahara Tahoe, and she was taken up, flown out a little ways, and she was supposed to fly in. She fell like
Yes, she did.
23 feet or something like that.
She did.
Almost died.
Yes, she did.
And that was Mike Criswell. We did an interview with him, and he was there and saw it happen. It was just, and how bad that was.
She was an amazing lady. I loved working with her, and Bo Derek's mother was her dresser. I don't know if you remember, Phil Richards was with her, what a fun time that to work those shows. I couldn't wait to get to work because it was so much fun.
And that's part of it right there. You know, part of it is it's a different business now. Yeah, I still love doing shows. Kelly loves doing shows. We all love doing shows, but it had a different feel back when I was doing it back in the well, I came into doing shows really in the 80s, early 80s. But it was different then.
It was a different feeling.
And the shows, like you say, it was 8 p.m. and midnight. You know,
Every night.
at least six nights a week.
At least.
At least.
If the star wanted you on the seventh day, he'd pay for it. Liberace always paid for me. We'd do a month and a half of 8 and midnight every night live with 3 cars, 4 pianos, and a live orchestra, dancing waters, and 2 specialty acts.
Yep.
Every night, 8 and midnight.
Yeah, it used to be said when people would come to town, they'd go get in a taxi cab or something,
Right.
and people would say, "Hey, what's the best show to go see?" And the taxi cab guys would go, "If you want to see the best show in Las Vegas, you're going to go see Liberace." And people would laugh, and they go, "No, what's the best show?" And they go, "No, it's Liberace. Go see Liberace."
He never played to an empty seat.
He never, yeah, it was always sold out and packed. And I saw his, it was, what was I, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in that range. And I saw his show here several times, you know, from the box boom areas off the side and stuff. And it was an amazing show. He was such a performer.
Yes, as long as the show went, and he insisted, because he always wanted the people to get their money's worth, Mr. Showmanship, yeah. He was a personal friend. He knew I was a drunk. And Nathan, I want you to bartend at my house. So I bartended at his house. I met all the people. You never knew what you was going to see. He was such an entertaining person and so good to me.
Excuse me. So let's do a couple of shows that were here.
Sure.
You did Liberace a bunch.
Yes.
You know, you got to do Elvis one time, and just on the show, the last one. That to me is almost mind blowing.
I watched him be walked out. It was so sad. He was just didn't actually know where he was at, but he was Elvis Presley, and I was there. And then to him to be dead 6 months later was even heavier. So
Yeah.
I found an Elvis Presley plaque on the strike of the stage that night. He had disregarded from the Southern Nevada Heart Association. He threw it over. He always had soaked towels because he sweated profusely from the pills, I believe. But I had that little small plaque from the Southern Nevada Heart Association. He got some kind of award. He threw it over underneath the stage. He didn't. Nobody ever retrieved it. We found it laying by the back of the stage, and I had that to remember that show. But I'll never forget that night because I used to worship Elvis. I was a hillbilly boy in Kentucky. There'd be always an Elvis impersonator at the fair, you know.
Just one?
In those days, probably many. But, yeah, it was so sad what happened to him. He was something, but memories.
This is some speculation, and you know, we've seen the movie. We saw
Sure.
the movie with all this stuff. You know,
The book Elvis, What Happened, I read that, and that was pretty close. That was written by his bodyguards.
okay.
So.
Mine, I think Elvis got, you know, just understanding human nature a little bit. I think he died basically of a broken heart because he wanted to do so much more, but he was controlled by his manager, and he
I
didn't
used
get
to
to
see
go
Colonel
and
Tom out in the casino every night,
just gambling and all off.
all
Yeah,
the way.
he would sit there and gamble off $1 million at a time.
And the
You know.
casino would just write it off. Thanks, Elvis.
Yep.
It's
You
kind
know.
of sad.
Yeah, and it is, but I just see that, you know, had he let and not had some people restricting him, how you know, he still had 30, 40 years left of a career. You know,
And with today's technology, imagine what it'd sound like.
yeah.
Wow. But anyway, this room in the Magic, It's something. I was proud to be here 10 years.
Yeah.
Proud.
Liberace, you did that. You did the Osmonds.
Yeah, did Donnie and Marie. We used to make this showroom the Donnie and Marie TV show. I don't know if anyone remembers.
Oh, yeah.
The old days, the ice
They
rink.
shot some of that here, too, huh?
We did the ice rink. We did the full band. Yeah, we did the entire Donnie and Marie TV show, 8 and midnight every night live. Ice skaters, full band on the ice. It was wild. You know, they were wild, but good kids.
Yeah.
Well, they're not kids no more.
No.
I think
no.
Donnie's still in town working.
Yeah, he's down at the Harrah's and does.
Marie was
lot
always
there.
so wonderful. She, great kids.
Yeah, and how long ago was it that we did, Merrill Osmond did his final show in the States? He still goes to England once in a while and does a couple of shows there, but was that like 2 years ago? Maybe 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did his retirement show here.
Wow.
You know, because he just, you know, after Andy Williams and stuff got them going, this is basically
I
where
did
they
Andy Williams
came.
here. Andy was something.
Yeah, Andy was a great guy.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And that voice. How did they make those records sound like that? His voice was incredible. And to the last day,
Yep.
the show we did upstairs with him was
Years back, we did one of his Christmas shows on Christmas Eve. You know,
Wow.
he did a Christmas Eve
he
show
was
here,
into Christmas.
and then it was like 6-8 months later he was dead. He had cancer at that point, but he wanted to do a few more shows, and he wanted to do another Christmas show, so they brought him in here, and it was so cool just sitting back here talking with him about, you know, his stuff, and you know, that's such a cool thing about being
I've sat
on
in
a
this,
stage.
I've sat in this room with Andy and the couch. I remember one night the sound guy I believe it was Steve James, was talking about his sound down here in this room, and Andy had been up most of the day, and he had a glass of wine, and we were all having cocktails, of course, and Andy kind of was tired and just kind of, excuse me. He was such a nice man, and what a voice.
Yeah. And a nice guy too.
Yes,
You know, it's just
always nice to work with upstairs, and I was an honor to meet him. I still got a picture of him somewhere. Yeah.
so you got to do them, and what other acts? Can you name a couple? We'll just name a couple.
We did
quick.
Engelbert. We did Bill Cosby. Oh Lord.
A bunch of times here.
Many
He
times.
lived here too, so
Yeah, his room was other side of the room.
yeah.
Bill was great. He was. He always took care of me. He knew I was a drunk then, and he always brought me downstairs to make me drink or watch me drink a glass of whiskey. He thought I was absolutely crazy, and I was. But his shows were so amazing because he never cussed or never said any dirty stories. But I don't know, there's 2,300 seats out in that showroom, 25.
At that time you could put 2,000 people in there. Now with the seating they have is about 1,600, but you can put up to 2,000, but just nowhere to put them. But they used to pack them in like sardines, I'll tell you.
But Bill would come on and just destroy them. People would be crying, they'd be laughing so hard.
Yeah.
He was so funny. I'm sorry about all of his problems later, but Bill was something. He was always good to me. He let me bring my kids down for pictures. That's when his TV show. He was the last show that they had before the showroom switched to the production show.
Oh, Starlight?
Before that, Baldu
Oh.
Moulin Rouge.
Oh, Moulin Rouge. Okay. Yeah.
He was the last one, and he told them, I'll be back. And after all that Baldu Moulin Rouge or the
Moulin Rouge, yeah.
and the skater show, did it come in where the guys and gals skated? Starlight Express came.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the roller skate show, yeah. Starlight Express.
When they came back to Star Policy, Bill's the first one they brought back. And he had that TV show. It was a big hit then. And he made him pay, he said. Because he told him, why are you canceling this show? Why are you leaving the Star Policy? Because he loved this room. Bill loved this room.
Everybody loves this room.
Yes. The sound, all he did was have a chair and a microphone.
Yeah, you know,
That was it.
comedians are so easy to do. You put a stool out there, a towel, a cup of
The
water,
rest
a
of the crew
microphone.
would go home, and he'd keep me because I'd close the curtain and strike the mic, and
Yeah.
he'd go out there and slay them
Yep.
every night, 8 and midnight.
Yeah, I worked his show a couple of times in the '80s and such, and yeah. Well, we're gonna end this episode right here,
Okay.
and then we're gonna come back and do another one. And but until then, Talbot, take it away.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.